Hi, my name is Mark Lancaster, and I've been working as a developer and implementer of EDI systems for the last 25 years. Over the years, I've seen a lot of changes to the technologies involved, different standards, different communication methods, and so on, all of which aim to improve your chances of reaping the rewards that doing EDI can bring. However, all of this counts for nothing if the basic approach is wrong. To quote someone, and I've no idea who, there are management solutions to technical problems, but no technical solutions to management problems. If your EDI system is set up correctly, then it will simply work away in the background and require little or no regular attention. However, if it's set up badly, then it will be a persistent and nagging burden on the poor soul, probably you, who has to look after it. Let me give you an example. I have a supplier who receives order files from one of their customers. Those files are in XML format, but the software they used to generate them was not exactly bug-free. Every now and again, the customer would send a file that didn't conform to the XML rules, so it couldn't be processed. For years, the supplier would deal with this by doing the following. Check the EDI system several times a day to ensure that all the orders from that customer got processed successfully. If one or more of them had errored, edit the file to correct the error, resubmit the file for processing, and then check that it went through successfully. This came about because the original project to get the EDI relationship up and running had an unmovable deadline. Both sides knew that the software generating the XML was not perfect, but time constraints and lack of functionality in the EDI system forced the supplier to deal with those issues manually in the short term. The initial intention was for the customer to fix the issues in their software in the weeks following the go-live. But once the project went live, the people involved moved on to work on other things. From the customer's point of view, everything was fine. They were sending the order files, and they were getting the goods, so they had no real interest in changing the software they used to create the XML. In fact, they saw it as risky to change a live process without a compelling reason. From the supplier's point of view, it was a major pain in the neck. The working life of the person responsible for the EDI systems revolved around sorting out the problems with the order files quickly so that the goods would be delivered on time. Every time they contacted the customer to try and get the original issue resolved, they were fobbed off with, "We're too busy on other projects right now," or "We'll get to it when we can." It also meant that if the person was out of the office for any reason, there was a good chance that the orders could be processed late and delivered later than the customer expected. This made the supplier look bad through no fault of their own. Despite this, the manual fix became the norm and stayed in place until the supplier replaced their EDI systems with something more up-to-date. As part of the scoping exercise, this manual intervention came to light. I suggested we use the migration project as a way of dealing with the issue once and for all. The new system was set up so that if an invalid XML was received, it would automatically report the error back to the customer, together with a copy of the file that caused the problem. Initially, the customer pushed back on this, arguing that it worked before, why not now? That allowed the supplier to explain exactly what they had to do each time a faulty file came through, and how, if one of them was missed or not handled quickly enough, the goods might be delivered late or maybe not at all. Obviously, that wouldn't be in the customer's best interests, and they reluctantly agreed to reopen the project and deal with the original problem properly. For the first few days after the new system went live, a number of faulty files were received, and the automated emails went back to the customer asking them to fix and resubmit. A short while later, corrected files would then come through, and they'd process without any problems. Within a week, the bug in the software that generates the XML must have been fixed, because ever since, no new faulty files have been received. The supplier no longer needs to do their manual workaround, and the customer can be confident that their orders will be processed and delivered as efficiently as possible. So, the lesson learned was, where EDI is concerned, accept nothing less than perfection. Manual workarounds have a nasty habit of staying put and have the potential to damage the business relationship between the customer and the supplier. When setting up your EDI system, put as much thought into what happens when something goes wrong as you do into what happens when it goes right. Get that right, and your EDI will pretty much look after the best interests of your company and its customers without any human involvement.